Alright, today we're going to talk about endangered species. While we watch this video clip, just kind of see the top 10 endangered species with their estimated population. Alright, so as we see, there is a big problem with our population of those top 10 animals. They just keep dropping. And as we go through these notes and as we go through other videos that we'll see, we'll see like the effects of what happens when an endangered species goes missing. So earth alarms.
More people become aware of these problems and want to do something. But what and how? The Endangered Project offers a playful way to raise money for clean water, for planting trees for clean air, and to reverse the desert into farmland by connecting three key elements: NGOs, online gaming, and social media. A unique combination to raise money for charity projects. The Endangered Project. Green games, green life, green action.
Alright, well that video was intense once we turned the sound up. Sorry about that. Animals and plants naturally give off earth alarms to tell humans about problems. If we respond to these alarms, our conditions are going to be improved and the animals will be saved. So the earth alarms, we'll get into that a little bit more, but if we don't respond, since we're the top, we're basically in dominion or over this earth when it comes to animals, that we actually have to respond. We actually have to do something if we're going to stop this from occurring to these animals. So we got to make sure that we're paying attention and we're not just killing everything and not worrying about it. Now, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but there's a difference between like hunting animals that are in excess and poaching animals that are endangered. So there is a difference, and we'll see that difference as we go. And then finally, if we don't respond, obviously animals will die and conditions will worsen. Threatened species. I'll see if the sound's down on this guy too. Awesome. So when we talk about threatened species, I'm going to talk over this video unless it gets a little too loud, and then I'll pause. But the first alarm is threatened species. So you see here our young elephant friends. They're a threatened species that we're talking about. And the first alarm as threatened species is a species that if we do not respond is likely to become endangered, which endangered is the step right before becoming extinct. So if we don't respond and stop it where it's at now, they're in a lot of trouble. So for our example is the African elephant, as we see right here. And they actually are poached for their tusks. These things right here, they're worth money. Now here's the deal. People will get money for those tusks on the black market. And they'll get a lot of money, but if you get it legally, like if an elephant were to die of natural death and you did not cause the death, which is actually illegal to hunt elephants, or poach elephants, that's actually worth millions of dollars. But when you get it illegally and sell it on the black market, it's not worth very much money at all. We're talking down from $1 million down to like $3,000. And as high school students, you may go, man, that's a lot of money. But when it comes to real life, real world, $3,000 does not really do much for you. It maybe will take care of 3 months of rent and bills. So that's why they're endangered, is because to get enough money or a lot of money, you have to continue to get more and more of their tusks. So that's why they're poached, because people can get money. People are selfish. So that's why they're endangered or threatened. So a sea turtle, they're cute little buddies. We're talking about the next Earth alarm, the second Earth alarm. This is endangered species. So the second alarm, this is where if we don't respond, the species is going to be gone forever. So they are, like this bullet says, you can read, it says immediate danger. If we don't protect them, they will die, because humans will take it upon themselves to either protect something, or they'll pass it off as whatever, or even humans will be the cause of the death. Like we saw for poaching for elephants, sea turtles actually go through poaching as well. As we see in our example, they're hunted for their meat and their eggs. People will kill sea turtles to eat them, and they'll steal their eggs to also eat them. So make sure that you're realizing that even though we are the ones that are responding, a lot of times we're the ones that have caused it. Not humans as a whole, but humans that are selfish in their desires, whether that's to sell things or take things for themselves. Humans are very selfish beings. So if we aren't careful, we're going to ruin the earth because we're so worried about us instead of worrying about the environment around us that helps us sustain our life and our lifestyle on earth. So if we don't respond and stop other humans from being so selfish and doing their own thing, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble when it comes to endangered species. And like I said, as we go, you will realize that if one species goes extinct, it actually has a huge harmful effect on the environment around it. So, extinct species. So as you were going through your clues picture outline, you probably saw pictures of guys with guns guarding rhinos. They actually do that. They actually guard rhinos with guns from poachers. So if poachers come up to try and kill this rhino, there's a guard or 4 guards surrounding them at all times, looking in all directions every time, and they basically lay their life on the line for these rhinos, because rhinos, these northern white rhinos, are almost extinct. Like we saw in the video, there was only 7. I believe that number is down to 1 viable male and 4 females, which means only 1 male is possible to have sex to mate with these 4 females to create new rhinos. If that rhino is not protected and it's killed, then the species goes extinct, because simple science says girls cannot create a new baby with other girls. Boys have to be involved. So males have to be involved. So if the rhino that's a male gets killed, then that species will go extinct because um, there's no males to reproduce. So the final Earth alarm is extinct species, which we know, everyone knows this since like the 4th grade. But a species that is no longer living on Earth, it's gone. Bye bye, and it will never come back. Okay. The example now is the black rhino. Okay, it is poached for its horn. It's not yet extinct, but it's very close to extinct. So there is a difference between the black rhino and the white rhino, but they're both very close to extinction. And if people don't take it upon themselves, like those, like the national park guards that have those automatic guns protecting it, then they will be extinct forever because people sell their horns on the black market just like they do the tusks of an elephant. So I just want you to know that it's actually not just animals. We have plants are endangered. This example is the pitcher plant, and as you watch the top right video, you're going to see this slug. This is actually how the pitcher plant gets some of its nutrients to be able to continue to live and eat. The cool thing I have found about the pitcher plant is it actually catches water in the bottom of it, and as this slug falls into it, the slug will drown, and then as it drowns, the pitcher plant will release digestive enzymes, very similar to that of what we have in our stomachs, and will digest that slug for more nutrients. So you watch that slug is about to slide all the way down in there because the sides of the pitcher plant are super slippery. You'll see him go in a second. Watch. Oh, 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 oh. No, not yet. Oh, oh, oh. Mr. Slug, be careful. All right, there he goes. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Moving faster than I want. Oh, see? Now he's gone. And then we have insects that are endangered too, like the Kino checker spot butterfly. If you weren't interested in listening to Mr. Moore talk and watch the top video, you've been watching this bottom video. The Kino checker spot butterfly is also endangered as well. So it's not just the big animals. There's also insects, which are technically animals, but don't point that out to me because I know it's just I'm talking about big animals that like we think of when we think of animals, and pitcher plants. But they're not the only ones. So let's just make sure that we realize that animals, big animals, are not just the only ones we need to worry about, because if we lose plants, we lose our main source of food for all trophic levels. If we lose insects, we lose our second main source of food for all trophic levels. So we just need to make sure that we're paying attention to all animals and plants.
Climate change could lead to a habitat decline for half of common plant species and a third of animals. Should temperatures rise more than 2 degrees Celsius, biodiversity around the globe will be seriously affected, according to a paper published in Nature Climate Change. The scientists who published the findings say that if serious efforts are undertaken to curb greenhouse gases, the impact can be lessened. By studying the current habits of 50,000 plant and animal species, the team assessed the flora and fauna's required environmental needs. They then cross-referenced that data with their outlook of what the world's regional environs will be like in 2100. Their models showed 34% of animal species and 57% of plants suffering significant habitat losses. This result will, in turn, impact humans as the potentially affected species contribute to air and water purification, flood control, and nutrient cycling. The researchers assert that these losses can be cut by 60% if global emissions are curbed and peak in 2016, and rising temperatures are maintained to 2 degrees Celsius. In addition to global warming, the main factors leading to habitat loss in the U.S. are agriculture, land and water development, and pollution.
All right, so habitat loss, as we see there, talked about a little bit in the video. Air pollution and water pollution, that's something that we can control. Those two things are we can control. Illegal killing or collection, again, those are things that we can control. and disease. And the disease is something that we can't control. So those are things that are. Mr. Cooper just walked in here, making me laugh. I apologize. Those are things that we can't control, the disease and competition, but we can definitely control three of the main causes of animal loss and decline. And then predation, we can't control that either. If something else is eating it in the world, we can't stop it from eating it. Actually, if we continue to stop it from eating it, we'll cause the other animal to become endangered. So we don't want to do that either. One means many. You saw this on your. I don't even know what it was called. Your clues picture outline. All living things are connected and depend on each other for survival. So if we lose one thing, we're going to lose up to 30 other species. I'll show you a video later about wolves in Yellowstone Park, but we'll realize as we go through this, if one thing is gone, it's actually going to hurt everything. It's going to hurt everything and cause everything else to die off. Not everything, but a lot of things to die off, and it's going to cause a lot of issues. So we need to make sure that this is not just a single animal problem. This is actually a big problem. And we see that when a plant goes extinct, it's going to take a lot of animals with it. So be focused on not the fact that we're going to just lose one, we're going to lose a lot. What can you do? So here's a couple things that you can do. Oh, sorry about the noise. I keep forgetting the noise. You can conserve animal habitats, which means you can help by not destroying things around your house and around the world. You can make space for wildlife. You can reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay? And then finally, you can join an organization like the WWF. These things are ways to, I'm going to turn that off. These things are ways to help endangered species actually become less endangered and become more, I guess the right word is just more. I mean, there would be just more animals if we continue to work this way. So these are a few ways that you can make your voice be heard and that you can help change a population of animals. All right, that's the end of the slideshow. Make sure you bring your notes to me and show me your completed notes so that way we can get a grade for them. Next thing we'll do is probably, Mr. Moore is not prepared this morning, so we'll see what it is when you get in class and when you get to this point.